Welcome back, guys. It's your boy, Jacob Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about why Liverpool are my favorites for this year's Champions League. Now, despite them getting dunked on, my team, my club, in Saturday's fixtures, I still have Liverpool as favorites for this year's Champions League. And I want to go over, in this short video, my reasoning for having Liverpool as my favorite for this season's Champions League. So before we get into this video, like the video and comment down below your thoughts on, my points. If you want to refute it, if you want to speak against it, let me know. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I'm just gonna start, and we're gonna start off with the elephant in the room on why I have them as favorites, and it has to be the additions to their new squad, right? You know, as much as I like to dunk on genital words, we cannot downplay the fact that this guy is a generational talent, a generational player, and once he gets things going for himself, he can be a very difficult player to either slow down or to stop entirely. You know, he's going to bring a lot of creativity to this Liverpool attack, and you could see some glimpses of the creativity that he could bring. That touch from when he first stepped on the pitch yesterday that he gave to Salah, that Salah ended up missing. We know informed Salah would have buried that easily. That touch was just like a glimpse of his quality. That touch was intentional. It was not a mistake. It was simply magical. And a player like Wirtz, once he starts to get back the confidence that he used to have, when he was playing in the Bundesliga, you could tell that Florian Wirtz is gonna be something that much teams can't stop. Same thing goes for Isak. The same thing goes for Ekatike. And when you have someone like Jeremy Frimpong, in which, in my opinion, is like he's a fullback. In my opinion, that when he's going forward, he's on the same level as Nuno Mendes and Hakimi going forward. His defensive work, there's still much to be desired, but going forward, this is a explosive, reliable attacking fullback, and he's going to complement Mo Salah extremely well, and Alexander Isak extremely well once he, fully acclimatizes. And because he's not an expensive signing, a lot of people aren't going to put as much pressure on him as they're putting on Words. So that's my first reason. Now, for my second reason, we have to talk about what winning a Premier League does to some of the players. Now, the momentum and the confidence that comes from such a strong domestic win last season, where they could have easily dropped points and allowed Arsenal to come back into the season last season, but they did not do that. In Arne Slot's first season, yes, he won with Klopp's team, but at the end of the day, he got the job done. And there's some managers like Mikel Arteta that came in his first season and he wasn't able to do the same type of things. Yes, it's a different type of situation. We understand, but at the end of the day, you still have to win. And I think when you have this winning mentality that's ingrained in the squad now, you can definitely transfer over to big competitions under the brightest lights, where you're facing the best teams in Europe, and you can rely on players like Wirtz. You can rely on players like Isak and Salah, especially towards the business end of the season. We're gonna see how this goes, and I definitely believe that coming towards the business end of the season, Liverpool, when they start to gel, they're going to start dominating teams and they're going to start winning in a fashion that puts the whole of Europe on watch, on red alert. Red Anfield alert. Now, for my next point. In Europe, Liverpool has the strongest track record out of any other English club. Any other English club. In the UCL, they have six Champions League, and that's alone Champions League. Six Champions League trophies. Six. I don't think you guys realize that how much we sleep on them in this competition. Yes, they got embarrassed by Real Madrid, but at the end of the day, it's Real Madrid. They have 15. Like, come on, guys. What are we talking about here? They have 15. So when it comes down to the some of the biggest clubs in the world, Liverpool is up there. Maybe in the last 20 years they haven't been winning as much, but they now have a team that can bring it over the line. They're definitely used to the big nights. They have a lot of players in the core that are used to these nights, that are used to pulling off magical nights at Anfield. And it's true. When it comes to playing Anfield, especially with this team now, playing at Anfield, you're gonna have it's gonna be like a nightmare. No team, doesn't matter from Real Madrid to Barcelona to Chelsea to PSG, no team is just gonna go there and underestimate what it takes to win there. So that's another thing we have to look out that Liverpool has going for them into this season, into this business end of this season. Now, another point would be the tactical flexibility and coaching that comes with Arne Slot. Arne Slot shown that once you give him the bread and butter and you give him a system he can work with, Klopp's system, Klopp's team, he can get it over the line. And now they've given him all the players possible to go and challenge for every competition available for Liverpool in this new season. And I expect him to do so. Now, against different opponents, Liverpool, they have all the tools required to play different types of football to adjust to whichever opponent they're facing. In the striker profiles from Ekatike to Isak to wingers like Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah, Federico Chiesa, who is known as he's a very clutch player himself, to their midfield that can be a very dynamic, heavy metal type of football midfield to a more possession-based midfield. And they can even go the counter-attacking route if need be. The only thing you would probably say is their defense as strong as it needs to be, and you're not going to be really looking at their center backs once they're on their game. You're not really going to be looking at their center backs. You're going to be looking at the fullbacks. Defensively, the fullbacks have always been a weakness for Liverpool, and now when you see how FSG is splashing cash, I wouldn't put it against them to go and strengthen the fullback position either in January or next summer, depending on how the team's doing. So that tactical flexibility is just going to see an improvement. And as Arne Slot gets more games under his belt, he's just going to adjust to the type of team that he has. And he's going to start to, with more time, bring more and more stronger results. A lot more stronger results out of his team. Now, for the sixth point, not 6th point, for the 5th point, the vulnerability of their rivals. Now, some traditional UCL powers are in a transitional phase, which leaves the UCL like for in an open run. What do I mean? Examples like Real Madrid. Real Madrid is not really complete with their full rebuild. Yes, they got a center back, but their midfield is still kind of lacking. So they're not gonna have all the possession that they expect to have against some of the biggest teams in Europe. PSG, their front line has been showing some injury problems, so we're not really sure how much that's gonna affect PSG going forward, especially in the UCL. Barcelona, they're pretty strong right now, but we still have to see more from Barcelona because they've shown this season that they can draw points against teams they're supposed to beat. And yes, you could say the same about Liverpool, but to be honest, when it comes to the UCL, I have I hold Liverpool to a higher standard than I hold Barcelona. I just do. I just do. It is what it is. When it comes to other English teams, other English opponents, no one's really gonna take Arsenal seriously because whenever they get close to winning such a big competition, they just find a way to bottle it. Same thing with some of these Italian teams right now. They're very weak. Inter Milan, very weak. AC Milan, very weak. Chelsea, and another team in a transitional period. Yes, we have the players that can make a strong run in the UCL, but I would say Chelsea's biggest problem right now is finding is I would say like the same reason I spoke about Arnie Slot is getting the most out of the player profiles that they have and finding the team's absolute strength. Enzo Maresca right now, you can see he's still looking to find that team's, you know, find his best lineup as well as the best way to utilize his best players. He's still testing things out. And when it comes to the UCL, teams like that don't necessarily win. Now, when it comes to Liverpool, I would say the only reason they're different is because their players have experience, and that's why I would say Liverpool, even though they have a bunch of new transfers, and you could say they're in a transitionary period as well, their players have experience. So gelling, Alexander Isak gelling, uh, uh, Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong, who both came from an invincible side, gelling. I generally believe that they're gonna have an easier time with all this experience around the squad, stabilizing. Same thing with Ekatike. Same thing with Milos Kerkers. They're all gonna have a easier time gelling with the squad compared to Chelsea, where it's barely any experience. Most of the experienced players are the same age as some of the least experienced players. So we're gonna have to see how that works. And obviously, there's no Man United in this Champions League. And even if there were, no one would really be expecting Man United to go on a very strong run because they have just been very, very underwhelming for the last couple of years. So, all in all, that's what I believe. Those are the points that I believe that can take Liverpool over the line. Now, the challenges they must overcome is their away performances. Liverpool's away performances have been very shaky. They have in their last 8 matches, their chance creation and especially from Florian Wirtz and some of the recruited players, especially in their fullbacks, even bombing forward has been very weak and it's dipped. And they've been conceding high quality chances in defense. In the group stage, they lost to Galatasaray. That shows some tactical vulnerabilities and some inconsistencies they still have to work out. But it's a good thing that it's the start of the season. The attacking structure has lacked the clinicality and penetration that you expect them to have, and neutralizing their wingers doesn't seem as hard as it used to be. So these are some challenges Liverpool has to address if they want to make Hungary that night in Hungary in that stadium. I forgot the name of the stadium. If they want to, let me know in the comments if they want to make it a very special night. But Like the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Liverpool has what it takes to make it? I'll be listening, and I'll be listening to all of your recommendations in the comments. Without further ado, it's your boy Jacob Jordan. I'm